Hi, it's Marcus Giuliano from Aroma Time Bistro here in Ellenville, New York. And it's March 16th today. I'm actually getting out on the track with my son. We're going to Middletown, New York to Montahagen School and doing our spring workouts. Every Wednesday we work with the Orange Runners Club. And as soon as the time jumps ahead, they start track practice. So we're going out today. It's about 50 degrees out. It was raining this morning, a little overcast, but the sun did pop through today, so that's pretty exciting. So the economy, everybody's kind of feeling the economy pinch here, all over. And I've had a couple people say, a couple comments about, lower prices would be nice on some things, some value, quote unquote, value choices. So I started looking into that, and so we brought in catfish that we had it as our lowest entree price in years, and the catfish was going well. I bought another batch of it, going really well. And then I go to order some more for this weekend, and guess what comes in? Chinese catfish. We were getting an American catfish that was approved through our standards and through our vendor. It was really a home run, beautiful, beautiful fish. And all of a sudden, the vendor's like, "There's no more American catfish around right now. It's a very tight catch, and we just can't get it." So they subbed in Chinese. So of course now I'm in a dilemma. The value added item was going phenomenal, but is it right for me to stick to my value added items and lose my values, because we don't like to serve Chinese products here. We like try to avoid them at all costs. And there are a few that sneak in here and there, but between garlic and all the other stuff, we've kind of like pushed those out of the kitchen. So I guess it's going to be time for me to look at any other value-based fish. It just seems like you start to do something on something right, something in the right direction, and all of a sudden there's always a snag or a snare, and it was a little upsetting. But of course, those are our standards, so I kind of have to be able to push that catfish back to the vendor and say, you know what, you need to pick it up. I actually refused it at the door, and called, made some phone calls, and of course that's what's out there right now. Unfortunately, there is some American stuff, but of course the American stuff is going to be at a much higher price. So of course, where is the value in the value menu? So I've kind of lost that part of the equation. However, we're always going to keep looking for other things and more things to create and add more value. Our wines right now, we've done a tremendous value on wines. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesdays, we've taken a significant amount off, and you can get a nice bottle of wine now for $15 on a Tuesday night here. It's incredible deals we have going on. Even lower than 15, like $14. So that's the good news. There's an abundance of wines right now that the vendors just can't seem to get rid of. And if you know the right vendor, if you know what you're looking for, you can get some really good values that aren't mass produced and in every store floor stacked, and that are going to be interesting and fun still. Because that's the challenge of buying wine at good prices. See, the way the wine vendors work is those bigger brands like Barefoot and Yellowtail, they'll walk into a restaurant and say, "Marcus," which we don't buy any of those. This is the reason why I don't, because they'll walk into a restaurant and say, "Okay, Marcus, a bottle of it is $6. If you buy one full case, we can get it down to $5.50. If you buy 3 cases, we can get it down to $5.25. If you buy 5, 10, 15, or 25 cases, you're gonna get that bottle down to like $4, $3.50. I don't have the room or the finances to spend that kind of money on 25 cases. Where would I store it? But the stores do that, what's called floor stacking, where they just stack one on top of another and put that in the aisle. So when you walk in and you see them selling a bottle for $6 or $5.50 that I'm paying $6 for, I can't make my money, and nor can you get your value in that. But you deal with the small guys, with the small production, case 1 is the same price as case 20. So there is no incentive for a store to walk in and pick up 25 cases and undercut me, and for me to actually be able to go to the store and buy it cheaper than the vendor. So there's no scenario like that. It's really the true cost of what's being produced. There's no kickback, or not really kickback. You can't say kickback in the liquor world, but there's no incentive for buying large amounts and saving money and undercutting somebody else. The cost is the cost. There's really some really good values of it that Jamie and I have really been searching out. We have another 8 wines to taste today. The bottles are here. We're gonna taste them and see if we can get any more good values out of that. If we find one wine out of those 8, job's done. We've done our job that we can bring in here. As long as those values on wines are there, we'll keep introducing those wines and keep those wine prices as low as we can, to pass that on. And we'll still keep looking for other values as far as food-wise. I just read an article in the Boston Globe today how calamari is taking over in restaurants because calamari is inexpensive. It's a value item. And they talked about how calamari, 30, 40 years ago, just nobody wanted it. Now, all of a sudden, fancy restaurants want it, fine dining, everywhere is serving it. And of course, they talk about the famed American calamari, how it's much plumper, flavorful, sweet versus the Asian product. However, they failed to mention that most of the products in restaurants right now and in grocery stores is Asian because nobody can really afford the American calamari that's going to be 30, 40% higher. So, however, of course, we stick to our standard. Going back to our standards, we stick to our standards here at Aroma Time. We don't bring in any Asian Chinese calamari whatsoever. So we're in a rut because we have to be able to charge and make up for that difference. So that's why our calamari might be $1 or so more. But honestly, I've seen calamari in other restaurants that it's not $1 more. It's the same exact price that we're charging, and they're serving Chinese, we're serving American. I like to say it's my passion, and I'm sticking to it. I'm Marcus Giuliano. I'm chef on a mission. Aroma Time Bistro, drop me an email. If you have any comments on this, I feel it's just important to stick to our standards. And I'm willing to pay a couple extra dollars to buy a product that I feel is morally, ethically sound, produced more locally, at least produced in the United States, and processed here or caught here. I feel much, much better about that. So, Marcus Giuliano, I'm a chef on a mission. Come join me here with my mission and my passion here at Aroma Time Bistro in Ellenville. Thank you.